If people you've known for years suddenly feel like complete strangers, if your oldest friendships now feel forced, exhausting, or even painful, this is not random. This is not you being antisocial. Your frequency has shifted, and Dolores Cannon explained exactly why this happens during ascension. Let me tell you what's been happening. You look at your phone and see a message from an old friend, someone you used to talk to every day, someone who knew everything about you, and instead of excitement, you feel resistance, obligation, maybe even dread. You meet up with friends you've had for decades, and the entire time you're sitting there, you feel like you're wearing a mask, playing a role, pretending to be someone you're not anymore. The jokes don't land the same way. The conversations feel hollow. The connection that once felt effortless now feels like work. And the guilt hits you hard, because these are good people. They haven't done anything wrong. They're the same as they've always been. But that's exactly the problem. They're the same, and you're not. What you're experiencing is called vibrational incompatibility. And according to Dolores Cannon's research, this is one of the clearest signs that your ascension process has reached a critical phase. Dolores Cannon documented this phenomenon across thousands of regression sessions with awakening souls. She discovered something that most people don't understand about spiritual evolution. When your consciousness shifts to a higher frequency, you don't just think differently, you literally vibrate at a different energetic rate. And here's what she found. Relationships that were built at one frequency cannot survive when one person shifts to another frequency. It's not about loyalty, it's not about love, it's about resonance. In her work with volunteers, souls who came to Earth specifically to assist with the planetary shift, Dolores noticed a consistent pattern. As these volunteers began to wake up, they experienced a rapid shedding of old relationships. Friendships that had lasted for years would suddenly dissolve, often without any major conflict or dramatic ending. She called this the frequency purge. Your soul is not being cruel when it pulls you away from old friends. Your soul is being efficient. It knows that you cannot hold the new frequency you're meant to anchor while maintaining energetic connections that pull you back to the old frequency. Dolores explained it this way. Imagine you're trying to tune a radio to a new station, but you're still connected by cables to the old station. You'll keep getting interference, static, mixed signals. To fully tune into the new frequency, you have to disconnect from the old one. That's what's happening with your friendships right now. Your soul is disconnecting you from frequencies that no longer serve your evolution. Let me explain what's happening on an energetic level, because understanding this will help dissolve the guilt you're feeling. Every person emits a vibrational frequency based on their consciousness level. This frequency is determined by what they think about, what they value, how they spend their energy, what emotions they primarily operate from. When you were vibrating at the same frequency as your old friends, you could connect effortlessly. Your energy fields were compatible. You could share experiences, understand each other intuitively, enjoy each other's company without effort. This is what resonance feels like. But during your awakening, something fundamental has changed. Your consciousness has expanded, your priorities have shifted, your emotional baseline has elevated. You're operating from different values now, truth instead of comfort, authenticity instead of approval, growth instead of stability. This means your vibrational frequency has literally increased. You're emitting a different energetic signature now. And when you try to connect with friends who are still operating on the old frequency, something happens that feels very uncomfortable. Your energy fields no longer match. Instead of resonating together, you experience what's called dissonance. Think of it like two instruments trying to play together, but one has been tuned higher. The notes clash. It sounds wrong. It feels wrong. Not because either instrument is broken, but because they're simply not in harmony anymore. This is why conversations with old friends now feel exhausting. You're having to constantly downshift your frequency to match theirs. You're compressing your expanded consciousness into a smaller space so you can relate to them. And this compression is what creates that feeling of wearing a mask, of pretending to be someone you're not anymore. Your soul is literally experiencing pain from the frequency mismatch. That's what that discomfort is trying to tell you. This frequency shift shows up in different ways depending on how your friendships were originally formed. Let me describe the 4 most common patterns. See which one you're experiencing. Type 1. The party friend who feels shallow now. These were the friends you had fun with. Nights out, adventures, superficial good times. But now when you're with them, you can't shake the feeling that it's all so empty. They're still chasing the same thrills, but those thrills no longer register as meaningful to you. You find yourself wanting to talk about deeper things, and they think you've become too serious. Type 2. The complaining friend who drains you. This is the friend who always has drama, always has problems, always needs to vent. You used to be able to handle this, even enjoy being the supportive one. But now, 5 minutes into the conversation and you feel completely depleted. Their energy feels heavy, dense, almost sticky. You realize they're not actually trying to solve anything. They're addicted to the drama. And your new frequency cannot tolerate that addiction anymore. Type 3, the judgmental friend who questions your changes. These friends notice you've changed and they don't like it. They make comments about you being different lately or not yourself. They question your new interests, your spiritual exploration, your lifestyle changes. They want the old you back, the version that made them comfortable. Being around them feels like being constantly evaluated and found lacking. Type 4, the comfortable friend who's just boring now. This is perhaps the saddest one. These friends are perfectly nice, nothing is wrong with them, but when you're together, you feel absolutely nothing. No joy, no excitement, no real connection, just flatness. You're going through the motions of friendship, but the soul connection has vanished. Every interaction feels obligatory, like you're both just maintaining a habit that no longer serves either of you. Whichever type you're experiencing, or maybe you're experiencing all 4 with different friends, understand that this is not a character flaw in you or in them. This is frequency evolution in action. You might be wondering, why now? Why are friendships I've had for 10, 20, even 30 years suddenly falling apart? The answer lies in the timing of your soul's mission. Dolores Cannon explained that volunteer souls go through their awakening in stages. The first stage is the quiet preparation, the internal shifts that others don't really notice, but there comes a point where the awakening reaches a threshold. Your frequency has risen high enough that remaining in lower frequency connections actually begins to hinder your mission. This usually happens in your 40s or 50s for a very specific reason. By this age, you've completed certain karmic contracts with these friends. You've learned what you needed to learn. You've played the roles you agreed to play. You've fulfilled the purposes these friendships were meant to serve. And now your soul is calling you forward into a different phase, one where you need to be surrounded by frequencies that match where you're going, not where you've been. Think of it this way. You're preparing to anchor a new frequency on this planet. You're becoming a living transmission tower for fifth-dimensional consciousness, and you cannot do that work while energetically entangled with third-dimensional relationships. The planet is going through a split right now. Dolores Cannon saw this clearly. Some souls are choosing to evolve, to shift to the higher frequency. Others are choosing to remain in the old frequency. Both choices are valid, but the two groups cannot walk together much longer. Your friendship's ending is not a tragedy, it's a necessary recalibration. Your soul is making space for connections that will support your next level, not anchor you to your last level. So what do you do when you're in this phase? How do you navigate the ending of friendships without guilt, without cruelty, without abandoning your integrity? Practice 1. Release the guilt. This is the most important practice. Stop feeling guilty for outgrowing people. Stop apologizing for your evolution. Guilt is a low-frequency emotion that will keep you tethered to connections your soul is trying to release. You are not abandoning anyone. You are honoring the natural completion of a soul contract. Practice 2. Let friendships fade naturally. You don't need dramatic confrontations or formal endings. Most frequency-based separations happen organically. Texts get answered less frequently. Plans get canceled more often. The friendship naturally fades into occasional check-ins, then eventually into silence. Trust this process. Don't force connection that's no longer there, but don't create unnecessary drama either. Practice 3. Bless and release. Before you go to sleep, mentally review your friendships. For each one that's fading, say internally, "Thank you for what we shared. I bless your journey. I release this connection with love." This energetic release prevents cords of attachment from draining your energy even after the friendship has ended. Practice 4. Stop downshifting your frequency. Notice when you're compressing yourself to sit with old friends. Stop doing this. Show up as your authentic self at your true frequency. If that makes them uncomfortable, that's information. If they can't meet you there, that tells you everything you need to know. Practice 5. Create space for new connections. You cannot fill a cup that's already full. As you release old friendships, you create energetic space for soul family to enter. Be open to new people who resonate with your current frequency. They're looking for you too. Practice 6. Honor what was. These friendships were real. The connection you once had was genuine. Just because they're ending doesn't mean they were mistakes. They served a purpose in your journey. Honor that purpose. Be grateful for what those friendships taught you, and then let them go. Practice 7. Trust your soul's wisdom. Your soul knows exactly what it's doing. This pruning of relationships is not random, it's strategic. You're being prepared for something that requires you to be surrounded by different energy. Trust that, even when it's painful, even when it's lonely. Trust it. Here's what I need you to understand about what comes after this friendship purge. Right now, it feels like loss. It feels like loneliness. It feels like you're losing everyone who ever knew you. But what's actually happening is this: you're making space for your true soul family. The friendships you're releasing were based on your old you, the version of you that existed before your awakening. Those friendships could never support who you're becoming. They were built on a foundation that no longer exists. But the connections coming in, they're different. They're based on soul recognition, on frequency alignment, on authentic resonance. These are the people who will understand you without explanation, who will see you without judgment, who will support your evolution instead of resisting it. And here's the beautiful part. These new connections won't require the effort and energy maintenance that your old friendships required. There won't be that feeling of wearing a mask or playing a role. These friendships will feel like coming home, like finally being seen, like breathing after holding your breath for years. Some of your old friends may eventually evolve and come back into your life at a higher frequency. When that happens, you'll feel it. The resonance will return, but it will be a different friendship, one built on your new foundation, not your old one. Others will remain on their path and you on yours, and you'll reach a place of peace with that, because you'll understand that everyone is exactly where they need to be. The loneliness you're feeling right now is temporary, but the freedom you're gaining is permanent. If you're going through this right now, if your friendships feel like they're crumbling around you, I need you to hear this. You are not being punished. You are being upgraded. You are not losing friends. You are shedding frequencies that no longer match your evolution. You are not becoming antisocial. You are becoming frequency selective. Your soul knows exactly what it's doing. These endings are making space for beginnings that will change everything. Dolores Cannon's work showed her that every single volunteer goes through this phase. Every single awakening soul experiences this friendship purge. It's not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is finally right. You are aligning with your true frequency, and at this frequency, you will attract your true people, the ones who were always meant to walk beside you, the ones who recognize your light because they carry the same light. This temporary loneliness is the birth canal you're moving through, and what's waiting on the other side is worth every moment of discomfort you're feeling now. You are not alone in this. Thousands of awakening souls are going through the exact same experience at this exact moment. Your tribe is out there, and they're looking for you just as intentionally as you're looking for them. If this resonated with you, if you've been feeling this exact thing but couldn't find the words for it, I want you to write in the comments, "My frequency has shifted." Just those 4 words. Let's acknowledge what's happening. Let's validate each other's experience. Let's create the soul family connection right here. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications because our next video is going to reveal how to recognize your true soul family when they appear. The signs, the feelings, the instant knowing. You need to see that one. Until then, remember, you're not losing connection. You're finding your true frequency.